Hello, I'm the Sound Lady, and I'm welcoming you to this oneness meditation where I will attempt to create a space within which miracles are possible. Now, I'd like to talk about the energy field, right? The energy field, John Beaulieu, in his book on tuning forks, he talked about the energy field as a medium that connects two or more points in space through energy expressed as tone or vibration, right? So an energy field is a frequency field. The field can be changed, can be adjusted and transformed by changing the frequency of the field. Resetting this field back to its sort of original, harmonious, balanced beginning can be accomplished by changing the frequencies in the field, and that causes the field to shift. And the shift in the field can create a space within which miracles are possible. The chant that we're going to be doing in a few minutes is about oneness. I learned it while meditating on the beach in Orleans on Cape Cod. And the miracle was that the person was cured of restless leg syndrome. But before I talk about that specific miracle, I'd just like to share my personal observations about what I have found to be the three ingredients that can bring together a space where a miracle can take place. The first ingredient is an open heart. The second ingredient is a high vibrational emotional frequency. And the third is the awareness of oneness, the mindset, the heart set of oneness, or your divinity. Same thing. So first, preparing for a miraculous state of mind requires that open heart. And you can think about something to open your heart like a puppy, a baby, a beautiful sunset, right? Whatever that is, just focus on it for a bit and feel your heart opening. But a broken heart is also an open heart. A broken heart is vulnerable. It's been torn maybe by the loss of a loved one, for example. And there feels like there is like a hole in the heart after that happens, where all of the old cords of connection that once held fast have been torn away. And we indeed feel like we have an etheric hole in our heart. And this state of being can also be an opportunity to create a miracle. So now with that open-hearted start, we need to raise the emotional vibration and the frequency of the space that you're in. And for this particular miracle that I'm going to talk about, I use drumming and chanting. You can use dancing. You can use hand clapping or body drumming with your hands, right? The louder and more resonant the sounds and the increasing rhythm will gradually raise the energy of you and the space that you're in. And the third ingredient here, oneness, merging into that awareness of oneness, connected with the oneness that permeates all consciousness. It permeates all that is. And in truth, we are all connected in this web of oneness. This oneness is where we connect with our divinity. there are many ways to connect with your oneness and to connect with your divinity. But that is the special sauce for creating the miracle, right? Opening your heart and raising your frequency are just a few ways to get to that space where you can understand and resonate with oneness and your divinity as your sort of egos kind of melt away and become part of all that is. When I was in parochial high school, my religion teacher, who happened to be a Jesuit priest, gave us an unusually difficult homework assignment. Ninth grade, like when I'm 13, 14 years old, ninth grade. He says, your homework tonight is to define what is God. Well, that was just blowing my mind. How do you ponder that? That's my homework assignment? Well, when I was lying in bed that night and kind of wondering how to define God, what made sense to me at that point in time in my life, what I came up with was, if you took all of the love in the world, all of the love in all of the people, all of the love in all of nature and all of the things that you see, you put all of that love together, that's God. That's what I came up with at that state in my life, at that age in my life. It made sense to me, so I was able to finally go to sleep. Now, back in 1965, quantum physics wasn't really a part of the collective unconscious yet, or the collective consciousness, let me say. It wasn't part of it yet. Quantum physics was pretty new at that point. But quantum physics tells us now that we are all connected. We are all connected in this etheric web, and everything that I do and I think and I say affects everything else. But getting into that state of oneness where our egos dissolve and we become part of everything else, that is where we enter our divinity. That is where anything is possible. And so the miracle story goes like this. It was around the turn of the century, and I found myself caring for my wife who had cancer. She was disabled. She was not able to work. And I was taking care of her. I was working full time. I was taking care of the house. I was walking the dog. It was a very, very stressful time. And the way I used to deal with that, now I'm not saying this is the way to do it, but it's the way I did it then because it worked, was I would just go for as long as I could doing all of that until I felt like I was about ready to break, and then I would go to the ocean. And at the ocean, I could just have a great cry, because the ocean sound was so huge and the ocean was so big and the space was so immense and open that I always felt that my little tears wouldn't really make it any worse for the wear, having experienced my sadness there. I was always pretty conscious about having strong feelings around other people, because I didn't like it when other people, would spew their anger around me. So I was always conscious of not doing that around people, and I would get angry and full of all of this rage of stuff that I had no control over. And I would go to the ocean and I would have a good cry and release it. So it was Friday night, and we got to the condo in Orleans, which was a friend of my wife's had this condo, and they were going to be using it that weekend, and they said, why don't you guys take it? And it was really just in time. So we went to the condo, and we had a nice dinner, and nice seafood dinner, and watched some television. I went to sleep, and woke up the next morning, and Marlo had not come to bed with me that night, and I found her on the couch as I was heading out to the ocean, because she was a late sleeper. She was not a morning person, and I knew I'd have a couple of hours all to myself. So I drove the short distance to the beach and parked the car and walked out onto the sand, looked around, and there was no one in sight. So I found a little spot where I could kind of sit in the sun and the soft sand and have my little cry. So I sat, and I waited, and no tears came. Which I didn't understand because I knew I was full of them, but no tears came out. So I said, all right, I'm just going to do a walking meditation then. I'll just stand up and I'm going to do that meditation where you just walk really slowly and your feet touch the sand and all you're thinking about is your feet touching the sand, your toes and your heels, and you're lifting up one foot and you're putting down the other. And it's a very, very slow walk, like a zombie walk. But the concentration is on the connection to the earth with your feet and all those crystals in the sand. All that energy going into your feet, and my energy going into the earth. And I got really, really connected to the earth. And after about 30 minutes of doing this, all of a sudden, out of the clear blue, drops into my head this verse, a complete verse. I am the sand. I am the sun. I am the water. We are one. Poof, just like that. It's in my head. It was kind of awesome. Felt great. I said, oh, okay, I'm going to just kind of repeat this. This is obvious something for me, so I'm going to repeat it over and over, continue my walking. And I would, kind of play with different melodies in my head due to my propensity for playing with sound. And I kind of played with it for a while as I did that walk. And after about another 30 minutes, I thought, okay, that's good, because I'm not going to have a cry today. Got back in the car, drove back to the condo. So I parked the car, and I get out, and I'm walking towards the condo, and there's Marlo sitting on the front porch, cup of coffee, cigarette, and she's shaking her head, and she's rolling her eyes, and she's laughing at me. And I'm like, what? What are you laughing at? What's going on? Now, she could see auras. She could see spirits. She says to me, you brought a whole parade of spirits with you back from the beach. They're all lined up behind you like the Pied Piper, and they're following you. And I said, okay, well, great. Let's go make some music with them. I learned this thing at the beach. I had this experience, and I want to share it with you. Let's go play with this verse. She was, really ready to do that, game for that. So as we walked inside, a couple of little hand drums we picked up. And while we were walking, and I said to her, so, why didn't you come to bed last night? I was kind of upset that you didn't come to bed. She said I was having a bout of restless legs, and I didn't want to disturb you. I was like, oh, okay. So now I understood. And we started playing with this verse. I am the sand. I am the sun. I am the water. We are one. Different rhythms, different melodies. We just really got into it, into that space of oneness, and we messed in there for about, 20 minutes or so. And then she stopped. She said, I'm having an incredible experience. I was like, what's going on? She says, I'm being told I'll never have restless legs again. Well, that was pretty awesome. She said, it looks like I'm seeing this energy falling out of my legs, this dirty energy. She said, it looks kind of like, like gasoline in a puddle at a gas station. It's that murky electric blue and yellowish color. She said that all of this energy is just falling out of my legs now and going into the earth, and they're telling me I'll never have restless legs again. And she didn't after that. Now, her restless legs were pretty intense. Arms and legs would flail every 30 seconds or so, and it would go on for hours until she fell asleep exhausted. Gone. Didn't have to take the medicines. Doctors perplexed. Never came back. She lived another 10 years after that. Never came back. That's the miracle. So now, as we all imagine our oneness and the possibilities of miracles, let's experience this oneness chant together. I'm going to play the piano. And in this time of the December solstice, with our planet being fully anchored in that unity consciousness, let us just uncross our arms and our legs and receive a few deep breaths. We'll call in the guardian alliance of the light and the highest representations of the Christ consciousness. Ask them to please come into this space with us and to erase all negativity and evil. Here we are pure, clear vessels of the I Am. And we're thanking Divine Spirit. We're thanking Divine Spirit for all of the help that it's giving us. As you listen, imagine the waves gently lapping on the shore, feeling the rhythm of the waves. Imagine the brilliant sun, the soft breeze, the warm sand, and the smell of salt water in the air. Imagine the waves lapping on the beach. And then spreading out over the sand like a fan and a million bubbles. We are